if you are into metalworking and you cut loads of metal profiles, metal sheets or anything like that, and you want a tool that will do it efficiently and most importantly safety, as this is cold to touch, producing almost no sparks, I may have just the right workhorse for you. But let's take a step back and see what it actually is. So, Evolution S355 MCS metal cutting chop saw. Yes, the blade size 355mm, so it's huge. It does miters 46 degrees on each side, so that's quite convenient. 2200 watt, and it does have a huge cutting capacity. So I'm gonna take everything out of the box and we'll put it together, we'll dial it in together, and then we'll do some test cuts. And that's all the pieces you get in this set. So you got the base, obviously some paperwork, the blade, that's the head of our machine, and very importantly, some clamping accessories. First of all, let's change the miter to 0 degrees. You do have some positive stops. We're gonna go through that in a second. And now turn this around so the rods at the back are facing you. And now we can simply offer the head of the saw onto those two rails. Now the way this head works, you do have 3 positions for the head depending on what you're cutting. And you've got a locking pin and then a locking lever. Now the pin here, that's spring loaded and it is secured with this plastic thing. So you need to take that off. You can release that and now it will drop into those holes there. And finally, use the lever to lock it fully in place. The next thing we need to do is to install the back support there. You just slide it on, just like that. And you do get 2 screws to secure everything in place. And onboard storage with the key already provided, so you can use it with no issues. You can use it for these two, but also for the fence as well if you need to adjust the fence, so that key is very, very handy. Right, let's install the blade. This one that actually comes with the saw, it's for mild steel and you can buy different types of blades. But to install the blade itself, you need to take off this cover, slightly undo the bolt, and then you can just pull it to the side. As you undo this bolt, of course, it will spin on you. Therefore, you've got a button just at the top here to stop it from spinning. So just press and hold it, and there you go. Obviously, as you are changing the blade or doing anything near the blade, make sure the saw is disconnected from power. There we go. The blade is sitting nicely. And we can put everything back together. Now, if you want to move this saw around, it does have some helpful features for it. You've got a locking pin there. Okay, so as you take the head of the saw down, you pull it through, and that's your miter saw head locked in place. And you actually do get a handle, quite a nice chunky handle at the front, and obviously that as well. So thanks to that, it's a little bit easier to take it to the location you need it to be. The next thing you want to do is to add this bar in front. Basically, this will allow you to use these very heavy duty clamps that they slide in just like that on the bar, and they will make sure that your piece of material you're going to be cutting is in nice stable position. The bar itself, it can be lifted, okay, to different positions, and you do have those positive stops. There's a pin over there on both sides that will allow you to lock it in place at a different height. However, then you have to use these knobs at the front to lock everything in place. For me, I'm just going to take it to the lowest position and secure them like this. And also you get one that you can clamp down your piece of work from the top, and you actually do have 3 positions. Okay, so you are definitely covered even if you want to clamp down those smaller pieces. And on the other side you do have 2 holes. One is closer to the blade and another one further away. However, what you also get is 3 of these pieces. They go over the feet of your clamps, okay, lock in position, and now if you've got something on an angle or maybe a bar, then it's a lot easier to clamp this down. And of course that fits the top clamp, but also it does fit the front clamps as well. Now, as I did mention, you do have some positive stops on the mitre. So you got at 0 degrees, then you've got at 15 degrees, next one is at 22.5, after that is at 30, and the final one is at 45. So now let's have a look how square the blade is to the fences. And actually you don't need to move the fences, as what you actually adjust is this plate here with the degrees. You've got 2 screws holding it in place. So let's have a look how accurate we are at the moment. So I'm gonna grab my square and make sure to not touch the teeth, otherwise it's not gonna be a good measurement. And I have to say, I'm absolutely perfect, okay? No need to change anything at all. Now I want to check if the blade is square to the table, although I don't actually see any way of adjusting that if it wasn't. Let's have a look. And it's absolutely perfect, okay? There's no gaps at all. Closer, no gaps. A bit further away, no gaps at all. So again, absolutely fine. Now let's have a look how flat the table is. For that I'm going to use my level. Can't actually see any gaps alongside of my straight edge, so that's good as well, okay? As you push on the corners, it's not wobbling, so definitely nice and flat. Now this saw, it's not a sliding mitre saw, however it does offer 3 positions. You do have those 3 holes, and you can change the position of the head depending on what material you're using. So that's the middle position, and this is the furthest position. Obviously always make sure to lock it up. And to help you to establish the correct position of the head, well, you do have this picture with every scenario that you may come across whilst cutting your items, okay? So that is very helpful. Behind the blade you do have this square metal box here that should be catching most of the shavings from metal, and at the end of it you do have a holder. So what you can do underneath there, you can actually put some sort of a plastic container or container of some sort that hopefully will be catching most of the shavings there. Okay, so as you can see, setup of this machine is an absolute doddle, takes no time at all, and it seems to be a very high quality machine. So let's take it to the test and see what we can cut and to what quality. So first of all on the agenda, I've got this metal bar that's 1 centimeter thick. For items like these, well, I need to change the location of the head itself to the furthest point, okay? So now it cuts right on the money. And for round objects like these, well, remember, you do have these as well for your clamps. Right, the bar is secured, I've got my PPE on, so it's time to cut this. Tell you what, that went through like hot knife through butter. And yes, it's absolutely cold to the touch as well. Absolutely fantastic. So let's have a look at the quality of the cut as well. Check that out. Absolutely beautiful, clean, straight cut. Right, let's go with something thicker. I've got this steel bar that's 24 millimeters in thickness, so that's pretty chunky. And again, it's cold to the touch, beautiful clean cut in matter of seconds, even through thick piece of steel like this. Next, I've got this steel profile that's 25 millimeters by 50 millimeters, and the wall thickness is 1.5 millimeters. let's give it a test cut. This time I've got a larger piece, so I need to change the position of my saw to the closest one. Absolutely perfect square cut, beautiful. Let's test out something different. Let's have a look how this will cut under a 45-degree angle. And check out this joint. Absolutely perfect, no gaps at all, beautiful. This time I'm going to be cutting an L-shaped bracket, so I need to change the position to the middle hole, and the corner needs to be facing upwards. Again, no issues at all, and in this case we've got 3mm thickness. Okay, so again, fairly chunky. Now I've got a square profile, 20 by 20 millimeters. The thickness is 1.5, and I'm going to be cutting 4 pieces with 45-degree angles to see if we can get a nice perfect 45-degree angle metal frame. Now let's have a look how well they actually come together. Well, I must say they are absolutely perfect. No gaps at all. Whatever you see is just they're not close enough, but as you put a bit of pressure to marry them up, there is actually no gaps between them. Perfect result. And the final thing I'm going to be cutting is a sheet of metal 2mm in thickness. Beautiful, straight and cold to the touch cut. Now, as to be expected with machines of this type, you will have a lot of metal shavings all around the machine itself. Okay, there is no simple solution to this, and definitely you need to expect this as you work with this tool. However, as you've seen it, it's a massively capable machine on delivering clean cuts, cold cuts, safe cuts, and most importantly, accurate cuts for your projects. However, the main downside of this machine, despite the fact it really delivers on the promises, is the fact that, well, it's very expensive. So if you are DIYer, I don't expect you to have this in your workshop unless you do a lot of projects with steel and metal. Then sure, it may pay itself off. However, this is more dedicated for professionals that work with steel and metal on daily basis. As I say, the price tag is quite hefty. Obviously, depending if you live in the United States or United Kingdom, the price will vary a little bit. So I'm going to leave some links down below in the description of this video so you can go have a look and check it out how much it costs in your country. However, I do have a 10% discount code that, well, it will shed off a few dollars or a few British pounds off this machine, so it's at least a little bit cheaper for you. Again, the details on that in the description of this video. Now, as it stands at the moment, the features, the saw itself, everything works perfectly and really does deliver on the quality. How will this look like in 6 months time or maybe a year? Well, that's for you to find out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to get that information, as I will be updating my reviews every so often, so you'll know if there's anything wrong with it, or maybe it works absolutely flawlessly. Now at this point, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for the ongoing support. And before you go, check out these 2 cool playlists, plenty of great videos already there. So click on them and maybe you'll find your next video to watch. For today, that's all. Thank you so much. Take care.